Good evening. This is the Newfane Selectboard, our regular meeting. It is October 5th, 2020, 6 p.m. And we have a busy evening tonight. And the first thing on our agenda is if there's any addition or amendment to the agenda. Okay, I do want to say something as an addition, very short. I got a phone call this weekend for clarification about the use of the common, which is in front of the courthouse. And apparently there's some people had an understanding that Selectboard is in charge of the common. We are not. We have no jurisdiction with that property in front and the common, and so I just wanted to make that clear to everybody. Yes.
And also the lot in front of the jail, Jill Street.
Yeah.
And in front of Union Hall, it's all the courthouse property. It's a county property with the
So
courthouse.
just to clarify.
Yeah.
To use that, you gotta get permission from the site.
Okay. So the next item is approval of the minutes from September 21st. Is there anybody who will?
I'll second that.
Okay. Any discussion about the minutes? All those in favor of accepting it, please say aye.
Aye. Aye.
Nobody's opposed, so they pass. Next item is road business with Jay Wilson and Christopher.
So Daniel's Construction will be back in a couple of weeks to start the extra repairs on Monroe Bridge. At that point, the road will be down to one lane for the duration of the repairs. The landfill is supposed to be kept mowed every year, and it apparently did not get put into the contract with the solar people. It didn't get mowed last year, but do you want me to try to get it mowed this year so we don't let the brush grow up in there?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
that's
Yeah,
a good idea.
have to.
Absolutely.
That was part of our landfill closure agreement, was that it kept mowed, so. The Depot Road culvert is tentatively scheduled to go out to bid midwinter, assuming the easements get done. There's been a little snag with a couple of easements, so taking longer than it should. The road safety audit for Newfane Village has been started. Wyndham Regional will be doing the speed count in mid-October, and that will be forwarded to the safety audit group. The winter sand went out to bid, and they should be open tonight. Sand salt shed finished the environmental review process. The next step is I need to get the town attorney to sign a letter that the town owns the property free and clear. And then we'll go from there. Oh, God knows how many more months that'll take. The gravel work under Monroe Bridge has been completed, and the crushing in the South Newfane yard is expected to begin sometime later this week.
Okay, may I ask a question? When you, what you said in number 7 about the Monroe Bridge and going back to number 1, you're saying the extra repairs on Monroe Bridge?
So last meeting, we voted to do the additional repairs to it.
Mm-hmm.
They had another job scheduled for that crew, so they pulled them off it for 3 weeks, and then they're sending them back there to do the extra work so that can get finished up. The gravel work was something different. That was underneath the bridge. We fixed around the abutments and removed the ground berm from the river.
Okay, great. Thank you. Chris, do you have anything to add?
I have a question.
Well, let's make a motion first, and then
Okay.
we'll have a discussion. It's a motion to accept.
Make a motion to accept it.
Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Okay, now do you want to discuss something?
My question is with the landfill, is that something you guys can do?
We don't have a mower to do it, but I can get somebody to
Okay.
do it.
Frank?
What else did they do with the Monroe Bridge there?
So where the troughs are supposed to be bolted up underneath the concrete, just disintegrated. So they're gonna cut the deck back and put a new deck at each pier. It's gonna take about 6 weeks to do it all. And then put the troughs under.
State responsibility or town responsibility? Town?
And the state gave us 175 to do this,
Okay.
and the rest of it's the town. And then the next step will be the beams need to be cleaned and greased, which is another huge expense.
So do we know how much this is gonna cost?
Which the new,
Yeah, the new,
150,000.
we gotta fix all of us.
No, they've already had one, right?
What's that?
How much it cost, what we've done so far?
210, and we got 175 of that paid for. So then this is another step that they said really needed to be done.
So about all the rebar that's poking out through the concrete all the way along both
Yes.
sides.
They're on the inside, you mean?
Yep.
Yep,
Yeah.
they're fixing that too.
Are they? Okay.
And then when they're done, they gotta seal the concrete to the pavement so the water can't get under it. So
So I have a question. So just the crushing in the South Newfane yard?
Yep.
Where is that? Is that on,
Dover Road.
which is by the water? Is that pile and
Yeah.
stuff
Yeah.
there?
It's a bridge.
It's a bridge?
It's just past the.
No, the South Newfane yard is just outside of South Newfane Village on the right.
On the right-hand side?
Yeah.
Okay, along the.
That's gravel that came out of the river at Lynch Bridge and at Monroe Bridge, and then we'll crush it and put it out on the roads.
Oh, okay. So I guess that's our property then?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Jay, are we doing the bid opening now?
Sure, it's up to you.
Okay. So why
Yes,
don't,
I think we should. while
We
we're
should
in the
just
road
attach it
business.
to, yeah,
Okay.
absolutely.
okay. Yeah, Mike, I think you should go far away.
Gonna sit with Doris.
I won't bite her.
Okay, so the first bid was received today, October 5th at 12:10 p.m. And the company is the Fitzpatrick Excavating and Trucking Company. Winter sand delivered to town yard at $11.50 per yard, 1,500 yards by 11/15, 220, the rest as needed.
It's 220.
2020.
I'm sorry, what?
Oh, 20,
2020.
2020, okay.
Can you pass it around while you look at the next one?
Okay. You want to pass it around?
Yep, I'm just keeping it. Shelley, do you want to see it?
Oh, I kind of wrote it down.
Chris, you?
I'm just listening to the numbers.
Okay. Okay. This is the second and final bid. Is that correct? This two
Yes.
bids? Okay, this is from Sarasimo Industries. And they offer to provide the following sand product to the town of Newfane for the 20/21 season as follows. 3/4 inch sand, and in parentheses, 2,500 cubic yards plus or minus one. At $16 cubic yards delivered, and then at $8.25 cubic yard FOB. Quote good until June 1st, 2021. All quotes subject to product availability. The first 1,500 cubic yards of sand can be delivered by November 15th. Earlier delivery is possible if requested. Please note that the measurement is per cubic yard by truckload measure at the pit. Thank you for the opportunity to present this price quote. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to call us. We look forward to working with you in the future. Sincerely, Todd Amato.
What did the bid look like? I mean, did you ask for a specific sand or anything?
It's a greater than 9/16.
It's in the folder.
Shelley?
Marion, I believe it's by your left arm, isn't it? The manila folder with the request for the bids. That's what she's asking for.
This one?
That's what Shelley's asking for.
Oh, here, Shelley, if you wanna read this.
$9.16, yeah, okay.
Now, is this something we vote on tonight?
Yeah,
Okay, may I have this? Yeah. Thank you. Any discussion, please?
I don't know what the calculation is in comparison. Jay, do you know?
What's
Have
that?
you broken it down with the calculation of the two
Sounded like there was about $5
difference, right?
difference a yard, yeah.
And then the quality or the type of sand,
Mhm.
as long as it's over 9/16, right?
Right.
So I would say I would go with the lower if it's, similar sand. That's my
where's the
thought.
sand coming from this year?
Brattleboro.
So the 1,500 yards, that's just for the first load, and then thereafter,
As we need it.
as you need it. And what do you expect to have a need for?
Usually about 2,500.
About 2,500? Okay.
You got any left from last year?
You have to ask the guy upstairs.
Yeah, 'cause you've seen it go as much as what, 6,000-7,000?
Yeah.
We can't control the weather.
No, but on average.
Okay, I'm just going to repeat this. The winter, Fitzpatrick is winter sand delivered to the county yard at $11.50 per yard. 1,500 yards by November 15th, and then the rest as needed. And Sarasimo, it's 3/4 inch sand at $16 cubic yard delivered, and 2,500 cubic yards plus or minus at $8.25 cubic yard FOB.
So I have another question. So like for the cubic yard for Mike's, you do it by cubic yard or by yard? I don't know.
They're both the same thing.
Same thing, okay. Because they made a mention of it per being in the truck, but that's generally the measurement you use anyways, right?
Yep.
Okay.
So I have a question again, just to follow with Shelley, just to make sure. So basically, the quality of the sand, the kind of sand, the size of the sand, is the same from
Yeah,
one?
the sand we had last year was very good. I don't see any problem with it.
Okay,
And who did you get sand from last
Just
year?
Patrick.
Okay. So when Chris asked where are you gonna get your sand, I mean,
Well, it's either there at the Newfane pit, I used to do it at Newfane.
I mean,
We're doing it out of Brattleboro now.
what, was there an issue with the sand ever?
Well, the sand's getting finer up in this pit now, because we're getting low on it.
I think year before last there was an issue with the sand, and that we
It
talked
was-
about it last year, and then this past year, Jay had said it was good.
Okay.
Sand's getting scarce.
And the accessibility to it is going to be okay.
does somebody want to make a motion, please?
I'll make a motion to accept, the bid from Fitzpatrick for the sand for the
Okay,
town.
is there a second on that?
I'll second.
Okay. Any further discussion?
The only thing is that when you guys are talking about it's getting scarce, that's why I think, what was it, Dummerston, they bought their own pit with Putney or something?
Yep.
So, I mean, there's always that option of being able to find a pit to buy from the
There's
town
an option
guys.
to find it, the next thing is get it approved so you can use it.
Right.
Okay.
Act 250 don't let you do gravel things for some
That's all well and good, but we need sand.
reason. Right.
Yeah.
It's gonna come to the point where you're gonna be making it out of ledge,
Uh-huh.
rock.
That's a lot of pounding.
Well, a pound's gonna be a lot more than
More Jeez. I wonder if we could ever like buy from the town of Putney, Dummerston, get
No.
gravel pit.
No,
No, they're restricted only to their own towns.
Yeah.
Okay,
That's, their plan was to make it last so many years.
Yeah.
And
I saw that.
so,
Okay,
Okay.
let's take a vote. There's a motion and a second to accept Fitzpatrick excavating bid. All those in favor, say aye.
mine.
Aye.
Okay, any opposed? No, so the ayes have it, and the bid goes out to Fitzpatrick Excavating. Thank you, and thank you, Sarasimo, for your bid, and we look forward to meeting you again in the future. Okay. Next item on the agenda is Administrative Assistance Report. And thank you, Jay, very much, and Chris, for the work that you're doing. Renetta?
I had a motion, but it wasn't, I had a first and second on the foreman's report, but I didn't get a final.
Oh, the motion for accepting, thank you. Okay, all those in favor of accepting road commissioner's report, road foreman's report, please say aye.
Aye. Aye.
Okay, no
Thank you.
nays, thank you. Thanks, Renetta, for the correction. Okay, administrative assistance report now.
Social appropriation letters have been sent to those organizations who have previously received Newfane funding. The letters contain details for budgeting considerations. They need to make an appointment with the select board during October, November, or December budgeting season. Research has shown that other towns have made each of these appropriations an article at town meeting. In the past, Newfane has considered the appropriations as a one-line item. I would like to recommend the board consider that each of the appropriations be its own article. And then 10 courtesy letters were mailed to residents between 492 Dover Road and the intersection of Auger Hole Road in South Newfane, advising them that the rock crushing that is scheduled for approximately 7 to 10 days, although this may be disturbing to some, it is considered necessary work. We received a reminder email from Southern Vermont Cable that before August 31st, our current email
October.
address,
October.
October 31st.
Yeah, no, you said August,
I'm sorry.
that's okay.
That our current email address will need to be changed. And as of today, all the town employees and the highway department have already set up the new email addresses. Example, the T Newfane at SV Cable will now be just T Newfane at newfanevt.com. So only the ending suffix will change. I have included again for your benefit the printout for the 70-inch monitor, the webcam, and the wall mounting brackets. This will be a benefit to the select board to hold both live meetings here at the town office and to host a Zoom meeting for the public to attend. This will be beneficial when we start the budgeting season, and this will allow those seeking appropriations to attend via Zoom. It will also allow us to do trainings and webinars from VLCT and the state of Vermont. These funds for the camera and the monitor can come from the miscellaneous office budget, and as of today, expenses, there's an available balance of $3,300 to make this purchase. Susan Westa from Wyndham Regional also wanted us to let people know that there's gonna be a webinar Wednesday, October 7th at 6 p.m. for the broadband. And they are requiring pre-registration because there is limited amount of space.
Thank you for your report.
So I have a question. Have you heard anything back from the appropriations?
I have 3 appointments for next select board meeting on the 19th. And I was hoping that we could have the setup so that we can host the meetings here, but not have everybody come here.
Mm-hmm. Meaning the setup of the monitor. So if we jump to that, is it gonna be difficult to hook it all up?
No.
Okay. Okay.
I make a motion, we spend the money to get that monitor.
I'll
Yeah,
second it.
I third it.
Any further discussion? I would like to ask you, Renetta, who actually would be working with you to get this all set up? Do you have people who are gonna help, or is it select board or somebody else?
Dan?
Daniel, who came and helped me set up the issues that we were having with the cameras and the printers, he has offered to come back and help us do that.
And he's from where?
He's from Putney. We also have,
Company or like just Daniel from Putney? I'm just wondering
no,
what's his affiliation?
he has his own computer business.
Okay.
Peter Putnam, the assistant town clerk, he's used him before and recommended him.
Oh.
And we had the issues with the
Scanner.
the scanner and the switch setup, and he fixed all of that within 2.5 hours.
So is it a paid thing that you pay him to do this work?
Yeah.
And what company does he work under?
He does his own
Just as
business,
an independent contractor?
independent computer. I could get the book, I have his address in my book. But we
He goes by independent computer?
no,
Oh, okay. Just by his name?
Yeah.
Okay.
So where are we gonna put that, right on that wall?
This one.
This one over
there's
here?
a,
That would make sense.
behind the clock, there's already a plug in there, so it's just putting the mounting bracket there, and it would swivel in order to face down at the table, and there would be an attached camera, and those would link to the laptop, and I could run the laptop from that counter.
And how big is that? Is that gonna be big
Se-
enough?
70 inches is the biggest I can find right now.
I'm wondering if anybody else would want to check that out with Winetta, so that the responsibility of this doesn't just fall on you. I think it would be good for somebody.
Well,
To
you
work
checked, you
with
checked it all out though, right?
Yes,
As far as finding the largest monitor that you could get? Because
yeah.
only because of the distance that we're away from,
Yeah,
you know, I'm just thinking, if you've looked around, you can't find anything larger?
When
That's a
I,
pretty good sized screen.
70 inch?
70
It's
inches
pretty
is,
big. It's 6 feet.
Yeah.
Is it 6 feet?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's pretty big.
yeah. And where are you buying this from?
Amazon. And if I ordered it, it would be here by the end of the week.
And who's gonna install it and put it up for it?
She just said it.
Oh, I figured he'd set it up. I didn't realize he was gonna put it on the wall and such.
I've spoken with Bob Litchfield about attaching the mounting brackets.
Okay.
And he said he would do it? Okay. And my question the other day, and I'll ask you again, is it also going to be able to be swiveled
Yes.
for people in the audience to see?
It would be more toward the select board, because you wouldn't want to keep moving that size of monitor.
Right.
It's a flat screen though, right?
It is,
Yeah.
but it still weighs almost 80 pounds.
Mm.
No, but I mean, if it's flat screen, you
What
can
happens
see it
when it
from
isn't
both
mounted on the
sides.
wall and it falls down?
Okay.
Well,
That isn't done right?
Well, hopefully they hit a stud.
it's 74.8 pounds.
Bob's pretty good at what he does for.
Yeah.
Oh, I know,
And-
I'm not questioning
These
He's
Bob.
really good.
These mounting brackets go up to an 84-inch. You know, they fit between 47 and 84-inch.
Mhm.
But for the price, 70 would suffice.
And then you said you have a camera on the top of your computer?
It would be the same type of camera that I have now for Zoom. It would be up on the monitor,
Okay.
so they could see
How much
us.
of an angle would that cover for vision? I mean, if they, so they don't just like it, would it cover this whole room?
The web camera has a 100-degree visibility.
What's 100
Well, in one of my pictures, it shows a wide area.
So someone could stand over near.
Oh,
Where
can you
you're
pass that around? I didn't get that picture.
How much are you gonna use something like this?
I think a lot, actually.
Do you
Well,
want
once the
to?
virus goes away, we get a vaccine.
But even so, we've talked about being able to have conferences
Thank you.
with people up in Montpelier, you know, versus them.
That we need that for sure.
Well,
Well, it's just like I said, even our representative, you know, they can't make it to the meeting a lot of nights. But, you know, they could probably go on a computer or something, chime in on that. We tell them what we-
Makes sense.
you know, we hear what's going on maybe, you know, then.
There's also
This
a
looks pretty good.
a letter in correspondence that came in late this afternoon from Nolan Edgar. And he says it's another way of performing the open meeting law for those that can't attend,
oh yeah,
you know, whether they're incapacitated or homebound.
Mhm.
meaning it would be running concurrently with the meeting
Yes,
versus waiting for it to come online.
right.
Okay.
So like
Yes.
these guys could take it right off the TV.
They could host us and we could do it from the webcam.
Right.
But you would be here rather than having individual laptop setups.
Yeah, I think it's a good idea. I think people have become more technological with meetings, you know.
And definitely when you start making 4 or 5 appointments for budget season for appropriations, it's gonna be a lot easier to have the web Zoom than to have 4 or 5 other people here.
Yeah, and the trainings for VLTC.
Yep.
We don't have to travel. Maybe they'll be more online. You know, they have a lot of online trainings anyways.
Okay, so, any further discussion about the administrative assistant's report?
Well, there's a motion for this TV in a second. We have to vote on that
Thank you.
first.
Oh, okay. All those in favor of going forward with purchasing the television, please say aye.
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 Okay, there are no nays, so the ayes have it, and we will purchase that. And Renetta, you'll be in charge. Thank you. Okay, now,
I can just say, whenever, if you need help, I'm available on Tuesday, Thursdays.
Thank you.
oh, that's great. Okay, good.
Thank you, Shelley.
Okay, so any further discussion on the administrative assistant's report?
I make a motion to accept it.
Second it.
All those in favor, say aye.
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 Okay, the ayes have it, and it passes. Thank you, Juanetta, for your report and for your work in researching this. Yes,
I forgot to add one thing to my report. An email came in late in the day today that V-Trans wasn't giving out any class 2 grants, which we weren't in line to get one this year anyways. But they have decided to distribute $7 million to all the towns. So they're gonna divide it up, so we don't know yet how much that'll actually amount to, but,
That's
Okay.
for COVID, right?
probably that's where the money came from.
Yeah, I seen where they had federal funds.
Okay,
Like a bridge yes, there you go. I have no idea how much I assume it's by mileage on roads, so I don't know what.
Proportion.
Roads, yeah.
Yeah.
well, that's a good addition to your report.
Yeah, I got it, so.
Thank you. Okay, so we are moving on to scheduled members of the public. The first item is Rich Hesselein, and it's about turning the end of the town-owned road, which is called Penner Road, into a privately owned road. And are we supposed to call him now?
Yes.
Do you want to set that up, please? I know this is.
Hi, that's fine.
Hi, Rick.
Yes,
Hi, this is Marion Dowling on the Selectboard. And,
Marion, how are you?
okay, how are you?
Doing well, thank you.
Thank you for joining us by telephone. So I just want to tell you that all 5 members of the Select Board are here tonight. Chris Williams, Angela Sandburn, Shelley Schubert, Shelley Huber, excuse me. Excusez-moi, I'm sorry. Mike Fitzpatrick, and in the audience we have Jay Wilson, Road Foreman, and we have Frank Suponski Lister and Doris Knetchtel Lister. So welcome to being here by telephone.
Thank you.
Why don't you start and tell us what your concerns are, please?
Well, I guess,
Can you
what
hear?
I like, obviously what I want, can you hear me okay?
Can everybody hear, or
Yes.
do you want to move closer?
Can you turn it up a little? How's
I tried.
Okay.
Okay, go ahead, Rick.
Is the volume okay now?
Yes.
Can he speak up?
Okay. So my wife and I have been talking about this for a while, and we decided particularly after the summer that we would like to privatize the driveway, take ownership of it. We just have had a lot of problem this summer, even with the signs that I'm allowed to put up. People just coming up the driveway, and it just happens so much that we, and it seems that it's getting worse instead of better. So we thought that we would like to ask you if we could take over the driveway, maintain it ourselves, and put the access area down at the bottom of our driveway. And Jay and I have looked at that before when there was work being done on Penner Road. And so that's kind of the long and short of it, I guess.
Okay. My understanding and information that we've received by the listers, and I'm not sure, Jay, are you part of handing this out?
I haven't seen it.
My understanding is, and I guess, I don't know how clear we all are on Select Board, but it is a big process to go through. It's not something that we can just approve tonight. So
Okay.
that's the first thing that I would like to tell you, that it's important that we hear what you would want to have happen, and the understanding and the information that we've gotten from the listers is that it is a process. So that's the thing that I want to say. Shelley?
Can you just, where is Penner Road?
Right.
To the bridge.
Right next to that bridge we're working on.
Monroe Bridge, that crooked bridge. That road cut right down into the road.
It's on, off Dover Road.
Dover Road, you know that Monroe Bridge is that first one,
Mhm.
just after you go over, it's on the right hand side.
It's on the right-hand side, okay.
Okay. Any other? Does anybody want to say something? Doris?
Well, this information that I gave you is something from the select board, have done, it isn't from the listers, it's information about what you need to do to discontinue a road, to take over a road, whatever it is. It
Mhm.
explains the whole process. And there's things in the town road books that also are some examples of when it has happened before for discontinuing, all the hearings that you have to have. So that's kind of like a checklist for the select board to know what needs to happen. You know, for the discontinuance of a portion of Penner Road, you need to know how many feet you're talking about, how big it
It's
is.
510 feet. You can't start it until you get past there's a property owner on the road that comes down to that road.
Mm-hmm.
So we'd have to start past that point. So the turnaround would have to be above there,
Where are you gonna put a turnaround up there, Jay?
right on the edge of the field there.
Yeah, but the girls aren't on the way up to that pin.
Can you speak a little, Frank, when you're speaking, can you
Oh,
put
sure.
your mask down
Yeah,
so that
sure.
Rich can hear on the phone too?
There's a pin on the left-hand side,
Yeah.
there's penny fluorescent. That's where the girls, I don't see where there's a place to put it. I wouldn't have a problem with it, put it at the end of the field, but the girls own, if they sign off on it, I don't see why it would be a problem.
I mean,
The marker we found was down closer to that culvert.
No,
Yeah.
it's as you climb the hill.
Yeah.
It's right on the left-hand side, it's plain as day. It might even be still fluorescent tape wrapped around it.
well, all of the property owners involved are all notified
Right.
with the information, and so if they're notified and you have a potential layout, everybody, yes or no, or whatever, but the outline of what you need to do is in that information that you need to know.
Can he hear us?
What?
Can he hear us?
Can
Rich,
you- Rich, have you been listening? Can you hear what they're saying?
It's hard I hear some of it, but it's hard for me to hear everything
So,
of what you said.
Now, is that the only part of the town road on there? Or does the road keep going down through?
But, I don't know what you're looking
It's hard to read it on the map. I think this is Dover Road, the black one.
Well, no, I know, yeah, right, this is Route 30, right?
No,
No, that's Dover Road.
that's
It's
Dover.
Dover Road.
Oh, that's what I meant, Dover.
Dover.
That's
It's
right.
not listed there, that's
No,
why
that's
I
it.
asked where it was, because I have no
But-
idea.
I see the piece that you want to throw away, but what's this other jog down through here? Want to go to all the other lots?
That's down at Frank's house, right?
Is that a town
where
road
are you
too?
getting
No.
this map?
So it all ends, it would all
It's in
end
our
right here?
report.
What that line that you see, he's got a copy of it. He's got a
Yeah,
map.
It's just hard to read.
Yeah, I don't have that.
It's, yes, you do. It's in there.
Oh,
So this is private,
What you're
I
looking
do.
at-
this is private road,
No, that's a brook,
that's the road?
yeah.
Yeah,
That's
that's
a
the
brook.
rock river.
The blue is the
That's-
brook, the
that's
black
the
is the
rock
road.
So where are you
Right.
going?
This is my house. This mine, that's him. It used to be a Pennis.
Yeah, so how do you get to your place?
No, I got an easement across his land into mine. Deeded easement from Reverend Penner.
So, the red part on the map here
Oh, yeah.
is where it's going to be private proposed,
Coolidge's funeral.
but you're saying that you go down his road to get to your
I go down Penner Road, cross Rich's lands, down the hill into my house.
okay.
Where are you gonna put the turnaround in there somewhere?
So you're saying then the turnaround be after where you turn to go to your place?
It'll be in his field, there's a field down the end.
After the road that goes down
That's the
there?
best place to put it, it's flat.
Oh, so this doesn't.
At the end of his
It's up
driveway?
The
It's,
driveway goes all, his property goes all the way, that's his driveway.
Right.
Up to the end of there.
Yeah,
So I'm assuming this 510 feet is what you're talking about discontinuing, right, Jay?
Yeah.
Yeah, right there.
and then a turnaround.
So instead of a town road, it'll be just a right of way for your property.
yeah,
Yeah, he's got an easement anyway.
I got it.
Nothing would change with Frank.
So, but would it be before his road that would be a turnaround?
No, past it. So after it forks.
You'd have to physically see it to
Yeah.
understand it.
Yeah,
Yeah, I was going to say
And you'll
that.
need a site visit during this whole process.
No, of
anyway.
course. I was going to say that. We're going to have to visit this.
yeah, so,
place.
I mean, like you said, I mean, it's a process.
Yeah. Rich, I don't know, or Doris, does Rich have all of this
I
information?
doubt it.
Okay, I think we should
I
get,
think the
we should
select
mail
board
it.
should- the select board should make sure he has that
Yeah.
information.
Rich, we have the whole package of highway process checklist. And,
Okay.
Oh, I know you.
Winetta, can you mail this to Rich this week, please?
Yes, I'll mail
Okay,
it
we're
tomorrow.
going to mail it to you.
Okay.
And then, I'm
Go
sorry,
Go ahead.
Juanetta, you said you
Okay.
sent letters out to,
I have not sent letters out regarding this issue.
but that would be a part of the process, I mean,
That's part of this
yeah, process.
whole process.
Okay,
Okay, so, Rich will receive this highway process checklist, which is many pages, and then sample report. So whatever we got, this will be sent out to Rich.
Okay. So, since it was hard for me to hear everyone's comments,
I know.
are there concerns that anybody has, or is it just you need to get more information by visiting the site?
I think in general, I think,
Well, that's the whole process anyways. You gotta hold like a public hearing.
Yeah.
and It's gotta be notified for so many days and.
I think we can say we're willing
Okay.
to start the process, see how
Okay.
it goes.
All right.
And we will make a plan to visit the site,
Okay.
and, we also
Yeah,
have
if you
to,
could,
this is the
if you
first
could
night
give me
that,
a heads up on that date, then I would be sure to try to get there.
oh, okay,
Absolutely.
okay. Also, this is the first evening that the select board members have received this paperwork, so we need to go through it individually and then as a group again.
Yeah, we can come up with that. I just measured it today.
Is there anything else that we need to talk about with Rich right now? Anybody? Is there any other questions, Rich, that you may have for us?
No, I don't have any others. I just want to thank everyone for, listening to my requests and taking it into consideration. And I'd be, like I said a few minutes ago, I'd be happy to meet with you all there and discuss it further.
Okay, well, thank you very much for calling.
Well,
And,
thank you.
oh, wait, 1 second, wait, Frank has something
Go
to
ahead.
say.
If the town,
Frank, can you take your mask
Yeah.
off?
if the town gives up the end of the road, how are you gonna stop people from still going up there? They don't obey signs. Rich knows that, I know that. I mean, is there a gate gonna get put up? How are you gonna stop people from just driving up there? Just
Well,
like
I
they
think
have
that
been
would be
for-
on the landowners.
But
And
that's not on
Yeah,
the town's
that's my
problem.
problem.
If the road's given up, it's not anything to do with the town.
Yeah, then you can put up gates.
And that would allow me to put up a no trespassing sign. It would allow me to put up signs that I can't put up now because
Right.
it's a town road.
Correct, absolutely.
We hear ya.
Also put a dead end up there to help with the-
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I just worry about
No
fires,
outlet.
There's a gate
That's
out
the
there.
other side, just allow that.
Okay, anything else? Okay, again, thank you very much, Rich, and,
Well, thank you for letting me attend the meeting.
yes, and
myself.
just
I really
understand
appreciate it.
that this will take a while, but we will be
Okay.
starting, okay?
Okay.
Have a good
Thanks
evening.
so much.
Thank
You all have
you.
a good evening.
And do you have Winnetta's phone number?
I do.
Okay, great. Okay, thank you. Have a good
All right.
Just
Thank you.
name-
You all have a good evening. You take care.
Okay, bye-bye.
We should have told him.
Bye now.
We're giving him money then.
Oh,
If he lives in New Jersey or something.
yeah. Well, we'll wait till we have it up and Winnetta will be the first to tell. Okay, well, thank you. That was good. So we will be reading this checklist. We will be planning to make a site visit and
Follow the directions, follow the steps.
follow the steps.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who
Okay.
did those steps?
I did them years ago when I was working as a paralegal.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much. That's a
Years
big
ago.
help. Okay, we're moving on to the next part of scheduled members of the public, and that is Lister Doris Knetchtel and Frank Suponski. A follow-up regarding the Lister vacancy, and that there is a need, apparently, to hire a data entry person. So Doris and Frank,
Well,
you have the floor.
I think all of you got a job description for a part-time data entry person.
Mhm.
Because no one applied for the vacant lister position, I have spoken to someone who is interested, but they don't live in town, which means they couldn't be appointed to serve as a lister. But they could be a part-time employee. And so I put together these responsibilities and so forth, 16, 20 hours a week. I think that, you know that my term is up in March. Dennis, in March, you'll have a 1-year vacancy for the rest of Dennis's term, and you'll have a 3-year vacancy, or you'll have a 3-year position for Lister then. Now, who knows if anybody's gonna run for those positions? But right now, because I'll be leaving, we need to have somebody who has who wants, and this person wants to learn and has been looking into, what a lister does. You have someone that I can train to do the job as a part-time data entry person from now that I can help to train before I leave in March. Because what's gonna happen in a lot of listers' offices in the state, people aren't running for that position. They're having to hire assessors at probably $50,000 a year or more. Some of the listers are making, of course, $20, $25 an hour. And it's a very important job. And I thought this way, if we can get this, if the board allows the hiring of a part-time person to work 15, 20 hours a week and gets trained on data entry, Frank doesn't do the computer. So, and he's gonna be here for forever.
Hopefully for another 2 years anyway.
He's got 2 more years on his term. So there needs to be something happen in the lister's office, or you're gonna be hiring people for assessors for $50,000 a year or more. Because the state's, and you're still gonna have to have somebody doing data entry and so forth, it's, you gotta start thinking about reality here for the lister's office. Now I don't know, what do they do in Dover? Is she the only one in the office? And I think she has some,
The only one. Yeah, we got that.
and I think she has, right, there was an assessor and Linda Sherman. I know in Wilmington, they have 5 listers, but they also have a data entry person, who I understand is also leaving her position.
They're a town.
And she's a data entry person who used to be a lister in Wilmington, and then she moved to another town, so she couldn't be a lister, but she's now doing all the data entry. So this was our suggestion, Frank and I suggested this. We also have used, and we'll probably use, Ryan Silvestri, who is part of the, municipal, New England Municipal, that did who's been doing the, reappraisals since 2002. 1 or 2 days a month. But, he'll come in to double check, he'll come in and go, because we used him a couple of times last year when we needed somebody to come in and help out. There's enough money in the budget for some of that, but I think our budget this year I may have to double it from what it's been for the past few years, at least, just because it's an important job.
Mm-hmm.
It has to get done. If you don't do this, what might happen is the state will come in, and Lord knows what they'll charge you to do it. But we're just trying to do it because we have this person who has asked about it and couldn't apply for the other position to be appointed. This is what we came up with for a suggestion of what to do.
So Doris, I've never dealt with this before, and I'm only speaking for myself. I don't know if Chris and Mike have done this in the past, but what would be the procedure of accepting somebody to be hired?
Well, you can hire anybody in the
So
town.
the select board has the ability to hire somebody who's not in Newfane?
Sure, yeah.
No, but we hire, but,
I mean,
We do, Shannon.
no, but you said that
No, but
you
Okay,
can't
we-
hire somebody who's not a Newfane resident.
No,
that's,
elected
they
position.
can't be elected as a lister.
I see. Oh,
Unless they
okay.
live in-
But they can be hired,
Correct,
okay.
correct.
My concern is that if you have one person who you've contacted and you're making this position, and we really have to open it up to anybody to apply
I
for.
realize that.
Yeah.
I realize that, but you're
Well, we've been looking.
you've been batting zero and nobody came forward.
Well, the whole thing is, it's almost down to the point like we tried to do this 5-6 years ago with this whole thing of doing away with the elections on a lot of this stuff
Right,
and turning it into regular employees.
like the town clerk and the,
Yeah, that's right, everybody.
Yeah.
It's like before you have to do a charter, I guess, all right?
I don't know.
I think
Yeah, you
it's,
have to change
Yeah.
the charter.
So
You
we'd
have
have
to
to-
do that, and that's a whole other,
because I mean, like you said, we've had this position, we've been trying to hire somebody for it. Nobody's coming forward. I mean, we got the same thing on planning commissions, we got the same thing on everything, there's nobody
That's for
Nobody
elected.
volunteers.
Yeah,
Well,
volunteer.
well, it's, volunteer or elected. I mean, this
or
is,
elected.
know,
Do you have anybody running against any of you people for select board?
They're lining up outside as we speak.
Well, let them in.
You just need one to be a lister, just one.
I'm sure.
but I said, I
There
think it's coming to the
people
point where I
ready to
think
jump
that
in
we
our
should be
seats.
hiring these people instead of doing the
Take
elections
control.
at it.
Well,
I
you
mean,
can
that way
hire
you get
somebody.
insurances, you get the work, you get the days off, you get just like any other employee. Like you said, it's probably gonna end up costing more money, cause it is, but like you said, all of a sudden, you're gone, and it's just Frank. I mean, what are you gonna say, just like, no, but I mean, even like this person that you might train, come town meeting, somebody could come in, just anybody with no experience whatsoever, say, all right, throw me in as a lister. That person's gone, because now you've trained this one, and then you.
Doesn't mean if you have to get rid of that person. But if you get 2 brand new people that run as a lister, still somebody's gonna have to train those people.
So my question is, what are other towns doing in this
It's a
Trying-
semi-crisis?
all kinds
appraiser.
of things, all kinds of things. A lot of them are hiring appraisers. And that's what, when I talked to the district advisor, he said, you're maybe gonna have to end up hiring an appraiser. To do-
And would they do the whole thing?
No, they can't do the whole thing.
Okay, I don't know.
You
I'm
need
just
You
asking.
need a couple of,
Data entry people.
well, it just is helpful to have that, because the day-to-day thing, somebody calls up and they want a Lister's card. Well, an assessor, first of all, isn't gonna be working 40 hours a week probably.
Right,
'Cause
they'll
they
be,
usually work part-time, so if you have somebody in there that answers the phone and takes care of doing a lot of that stuff, that interruptions that you get all day long.
do you get a lot of requests from different people?
Absolutely,
Yeah,
absolutely. There's some days just like you say, oh, well, I didn't get anything done today. You have a pile of things you gotta do, but you can't do them because you keep getting interrupted.
so you have a lot of interaction with people, with requests from people.
Yeah, telephone, you know,
Is it mostly residents or are there other people like
property owners.
property
Real
owners?
estate agents calling for lister cards all the time on us, you know, how many bathrooms, you send them a card, whatever. It's just an overwhelming job, and
Yeah.
I'm not, it really is.
Yeah,
When I first started to do this back in the 90s, when Peter Clark was our district advisor, he said to me one day, it'll take you 6 years to learn how to be a lister. He was wrong. It takes 8 to 10.
yeah,
So, and they're changing it.
Didn't
This
take
is,
me that long.
you gotta grab your foot in the door
you've been
to
here
get
for a
it.
while.
It's just an overwhelming job.
Yeah.
And to keep the grand list up and keep your CLA above 85%. If you don't, the town's gonna do another reappraisal for $150,000 back in 2017. So,
What's a CLA?
common
Common
level of
level of
appraisal.
appraisal.
What is it?
Common,
Go ahead.
One person.
Common level of appraisal.
Common level?
It's
of
what
appraisal.
something sells for and what we have it appraised for. Now, what's happening right now,
Oh,
what's happening right now?
it's gonna be like,
they're paying more
yeah,
than what we have it assessed for.
so it's gonna earmark you for another,
Yeah,
Now, we get
another
money,
reappraisal.
we get money
reappraisal.
from the state every year. You will see in your budget thing some income for, the reappraisal, that's the money come, and it's like $8.50 a parcel that they pay
Per year.
per year. The state pays per year to put into the reappraisal fund. Now, there have been select boards that think that they can use that money, but, they can't.
Yeah,
Do we know what our money is right now, by chance?
Not off the top of my head.
But every year you get a X amount of dollars
And
per
if you can save
parcel.
enough money in that fund
Yeah,
to do a reappraisal like we did back in 2017,
yeah,
back in '02, we didn't have the money in the fund, so we had to borrow the money.
uh-huh,
So that's why listers are supposed to be, we're supposed to be aggressive with what we do, because somebody's buying a house and there's buying it for 100,000 more than we appraise it at, that's not good for us.
yeah.
So
We
we get
can't
too
do
many of
anything
But you
those.
can't do anything about that.
No, you can't.
But we
Okay.
gotta be aggressive about going out and making sure that the information we have on the properties,
Is correct.
Is accurate and,
you know, all of the permits and so forth,
Just like we got into the inn after 25 years.
right.
you
Count the
know.
bathrooms, check the kitchen.
We still can't figure it out.
It's overwhelming.
Yeah,
But
it is.
again, this is, my personal opinion is the person that we would like to hire, I'm hoping they would take courses, learn how to be an appraiser, and stay here working for the town when Doris and I are gone.
Cause that person
That would
could
be my hope.
could end up being an appraiser.
Is said person available at some point to come in and chat with
Well,
the
I
select board?
don't think we really could do that
It
because
depends
we
if
can't,
you guys
you
decide
have
to
to
hire.
open it up to anybody.
I
Right, but you
understand,
have-
but I mean,
We can't ask the person to come in and chat
No.
unless you've decided that this is something.
yeah, I don't know how it works, so I'm
Yeah,
just
can't
wondering.
do
Yeah,
that.
this is brand new, this is all new.
Yeah.
for all
Couldn't
of
have
us.
somebody
So-
come in to talk to
But
you
ideally,
about
what
a
you
job.
need is a person who's the data entry person, and then maybe have a contracted appraiser right? Is that?
Ryan Silvestri.
And then eventually that person who's hired could maybe work into becoming an appraiser.
Yeah.
Okay, got it.
Okay, I get it now.
How difficult is it to be an appraiser?
You have to take a number of courses.
Is it like being an accountant or something?
You gotta go to school, you gotta, I mean,
You got 3 or 4 years, I think, of
Yeah.
courses and stuff like that.
Okay, so it's coursework and stuff.
Yeah.
and we were lucky that back in 2002, New England Municipal Consultants, this is the first time they did in the state of Vermont, was Newfane.
Oh,
They've done the statistical reappraisal, I'm not even gonna get into that,
yeah,
but, and then they did a full-blown reappraisal in 2017.
yeah,
And they're still here, and Ryan works for them, and Bill, who owns the company,
uh-huh,
has done our town for the last 3 of them. So they know the town. I spent a
Which
lot
is
of time driving around with Ryan, going to houses, doing this, doing that. So I could learn more about it,
mm-hmm,
because you're putting a value on someone's land for taxation.
mm-hmm,
We don't tax, you guys tax. But I wanna make sure the value is right compared to everybody else in town. That's the secret to it. Jay was on the chairman of the BCA years ago when I was here. And it's important. It makes it fair to everyone. It's
Mhm.
very important. We don't try to go second homeowners, charge them more and charge the residents less. We don't do that. It's fair the same to everybody.
yeah,
And again, when you start seeing houses that are selling for way higher than we appraise them at, that's not good for us. I don't want it to go through another reappraisal where we don't have the money to pay for it. And that's,
Sometimes though, too, in the past, when properties, this is a strange situation right now because of the COVID, but in the past, if something sold for a lot more than we had it, then we get suspicious about what have they done.
oh,
Because they don't have to get a permit for stuff they've done inside. They don't have to get a building permit.
yeah,
So we get suspicious of, why did these people pay more than,
well, right now they're paying top
I know,
dollar.
but I'm not talking about right now.
But in other years or whatever, yeah.
In one woman, when we asked her, and we went down and looked at her place and all that, and we said, what? She says, because she liked the babbling brook. You just don't know why people spend more
Oh, yeah,
than what we have it appraised for.
yeah.
You just don't know.
Why is it that, they don't need permits?
for interior work, you don't need
It's only because that's what your zoning bylaw says.
You completely remodel the whole kitchen in your house, brand new kitchen countertops, cherry cabinets, do the whole spiel, $30,000 worth of kitchen. We don't know that till it gets sold, and then you go and you call the people, how come you pay so much for the house? And they go, well, it's got a brand new kitchen, it's got this and this and this. That hurts our CLA. We sit down every year with our state advisor to go through sales. Sales to a budding property owner get thrown out of the sales analysis. Sales to a family member, passed down from children and whatever. There's things that get thrown out. Personally, I would like to see this virus business, the fact that people are coming from down country, they're buying houses because they want to get out of there and they want to come up to the woods where we all live, and they're paying astronomical numbers for these houses because that's the value of what they think they are in New York, New Jersey, wherever. Because the
Well, not
prices are
only
high.
that, they have the cash to be able to do it.
Exactly.
They have the equity.
It's worked both ways over the years. We've
Yes,
had
it
our
has.
up and downs.
Yeah.
And then, like the eighties is a boom town, next all of a sudden,
Oh, yeah, it changes.
everything dropped down, considerable.
But this is an unusual.
They could get here and want to leave.
Yeah, this is an unusual situation, but I think too, in talking to Bill Krajewski, he said the same type of thing happened in 9/11.
Yeah,
The same kind of thing
yeah.
happened.
Yeah.
And it's happening in all the towns throughout the state.
Well, Vermont's being promoted as the best place for, the least amount of COVID.
That's right.
But
The
it's
town of
population.
The town of Wyndham has really been hit,
Oh, I know, I saw that.
education wise, they've
Yeah.
got how many more kids that they gotta put, anyway.
Well, according to the state, that's what you want. Drop your taxes, the more kids you got in school, your tax rate's
But
gonna
if you've
drop.
gotta increase the size of your school building, how does that work?
Well, that's what the state wants.
Well, that's what the state wants. That's another thing that's happened too with, there's more and more responsibility that's put on the listers by the state for us, for what we need to do.
Mhm.
You know, it's not like it used to be. It's more and more states.
So I guess anyways, what we gotta get back to is about this person, right?
If you
If we
want,
were gonna do something like this, we're gonna have to, like you said, either come up with a job description
I just gave you
Put-
one.
and put it out.
I gave you one.
Well, I think you need to think about it personally.
I don't think you need to think about it. I think you need to do something about
We need to do something. March is
it.
right
You need
around
to
the
do,
corner.
and I had wanted to leave in November.
You had wanted to leave?
Yes, I was
Uh-huh.
gonna leave the job early.
But
Uh-huh.
she loves me so much, she's gonna stay.
Uh-huh.
But because this has been, we didn't find anybody to come in to be a lister, to appoint somebody that I could have time to train. Now, just the longer you delay it, of course, I might not come in if it's snowing or anything like that.
Well, I think what we need to do is look at the budget. I think
I
we
think
need to act on it.
you've got enough in the budget. She gave me how much we've spent so far, because Dennis hasn't been here. So
Okay,
you've got
well,
enough money to hire
We haven't
somebody.
seen it. We don't have the number.
I think she,
I think we need to hire somebody now.
Wasn't in the budget.
What'd you say,
Oh,
Chris?
I think we need to hire somebody now.
I think you should.
Yeah, I do too.
We had money set aside.
Well, it sounds to me, if you hire somebody nice, they're gonna be hiring somebody pretty quick anyway. Cause you're gonna leave too.
Well, somebody's gonna be elected, and there's another,
Well, that's what I said, you haven't seen many people running up to take the job, so then you're gonna have another empty spot come election no matter what.
this is why I'm talking to you now.
Right, what I would say, for the last 2 years, I think we ought to make this damn thing, or we do the people do the hiring, the selectmen or whoever, and make this a real job for people where they come in.
That's what they did in Jamaica.
Right.
Newfane isn't ready for that yet, because they haven't, last time we talked about a charter that got turned down.
Oh, I did too, but I
We
mean, I
did,
can remember
yeah,
one.
we did talk.
I can remember
about
at the
that.
meeting one time, they all wanted to make sure we held it in them old buildings too, the old historical buildings, instead of having it at the school, and I ain't seen them guys there since. So I mean, you can go on all you want, but I mean, if you don't show up to help, same with this, I mean, we've got a lot of positions right now that are kind of vacant, I think, in the town anyways, don't we, with other things too.
Appointed positions, yeah.
there's 6 vacancies.
Ought to be 7.
Which is like what, the dog catcher and some other things, right?
Health officer, dog catcher, planning commission, Wyndham Regional.
I'm on the Wyndham Regional.
Do you
There's
have
supposed to
someone
be
for
2.
Okay.
Senior Solutions?
Senior Solutions.
Well, I know somebody for that.
Yeah.
Lori Costello.
Animal control's out there. Been out there for a while.
Yeah, but I mean, it's we've got people filled in the positions. I mean, there's just a few that are dangling out
Cause I
there.
think I see on that thing tonight, there's somebody else resigning, isn't it?
Yeah,
Yes, there is.
planning commission will have another one.
Planning Commission.
Yeah.
You could create a full-time job out of this, but you still have to find somebody to do it.
So one
You don't walk in the door and read a book and become a lister. This takes a lot of experience, all right? This isn't something that you go take a course to be a lister. My opinion here is we should try to hire this person.
Right.
Hopefully she's gonna come in here and take over, and she's gonna learn it and enjoy it so that she can do the job, because you can't even say we can't be a lister. All the listers left and we have nobody for a month. You can't do that. You got property transfers you gotta file, there's paperwork you send out to the buyer and the seller.
Yeah,
You get
there's a dog
stuff
out there.
back from people. We had just had Cy Bailey, our district advisor, called the other day, wanted to know why this one sold for this. Well, the people's on their letter that I got back, they bought a tractor or something, it was $9,000 worth of furniture, which comes off the cost of the house. So,
That wasn't what it was.
well, whatever it was.
We send out a questionnaire with each
I just wanna know.
with each property transfer. We send out a questionnaire to both the buyer and the seller to ask them questions, and one of them is, was there anything that was involved in this sale that kind of like that we should know about? And the one that Cy Bailey called about, who's our district advisor, it had to do with $9,000 was paid for the closing costs.
By the owner.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Pay for closing costs.
yeah,
So, you know, that kind of thing, it's in the total for the sale,
right.
but it's not, it's a large enough thing.
Well, I'd almost make a motion that we probably do this thing about looking at hiring this person, you know, whether you're as a part-time person or whatever you could have,
Yeah, I'm not against it, I'm just saying,
to try to
But
get
wait,
somebody
wait,
in the
wait.
place. Like I said, but I'd also like to see what we gotta do about making this so we do the hiring pretty quick and make them real full-time employees, whoever we hire. Because one of the things I see a problem, like with hiring somebody and training them, getting them all the training, paying them, whatever. You've seen it over and over again, once they get the training, pretty quick they've gone into one of these towns that are paying them and offering the benefits and all that. So I mean, it's fine to do this, but come town meeting, we might be still looking for 2 more people.
Absolutely.
I mean, so what do we have to, I'd like to start looking more too, even that, you know, we're gonna have to start hiring people, I think,
Yeah.
instead of having an election, because it seems to me it's not working very good anymore.
Well, there's certain things that you're still gonna have to have a board of listers.
Right.
Wait, can I just
2
interrupt
elected people.
1 second? But Mike made a motion right now. So I'm just want to know if anybody wants to second that
I'll
motion.
second it.
Okay, now we can talk again.
Okay.
I think we've beat this horse long enough, I mean,
I think so too.
let's vote on it.
Any discussion?
So what was the motion?
I made a motion to hire this person they've been talking to for right now, to bring her in and do the training they can get and try to get somebody
Mike,
into this
I'm
position.
not, in-
But
I'm
if
not-
the select board is hiring somebody, doesn't the select board get the right to interview said person before
Yeah.
they're hired?
Yeah, that, you can't do that. We can say that we can.
I mean, we have no idea who this, I mean, I understand you guys know it, but I mean, if we're making,
You actually know her, you met her.
okay,
I'm
great,
not saying
awesome, but
anything about that, but we
my
can't do
question
that.
is if we're, as a board, gonna hire somebody, then we should have
Right.
the opportunity to ask questions
It
like we
has-
did with Sierra doing the treasurer's.
So what you, so,
Has to be opened up to the public.
Not enough
It
time.
is opened up to the public. We've been looking,
No,
For
not
people right along.
as a paid position, Chris.
Well, no, it's a paid
the lister's a
position.
paid
No, but-
position,
Of course.
It was, yeah, it's
Yeah,
a
it's
paid
always
it's a
paid.
paid position.
I mean, just like right now,
Yeah,
you're
but
not
it
offering
says
this person
elected
insurance
official.
and all that, right?
Well, your personnel policy doesn't offer it for part-time people.
It says for elected position,
Can
not
I
as a employee.
can I make a suggestion?
Yes. Can you take your mask off when you're speaking, please?
That right now we use Doris's job description, place an ad in the paper this week, give them until next week to get their interest resumes, set up the appointments, to meet with the select board and the listers, including the lady that, or the person that wants to. So we can have a decision made by the 19th.
Yes, good idea.
What's the 19th?
Why,
The
why are
19th
you
is the next
saying no?
select board meeting.
I wanna hire this person that is interested in the job, because this person has looked up online what the lister's responsibilities are. They have done a little homework.
The only thing with
So,
this,
but
Frank,
I think you were right, that's a good way to approach it. Take this job description, get it out there, tell
have,
this person to send in the resume to the select board and have them make.
and if nobody else applies, that's
That's right.
And you
a
give a
process that's still followed.
So
and
what
the
would you do?
deadline is by October.
I would
2
place the
weeks?
ad tomorrow using the job description.
This one, the.
So we would have the end of next week to have the applications and to have people set up for interviews. So we would have a decision by the 19th.
Okay, so that one hasn't been changed, so
So this is
we're
the,
on the 5th.
yeah, then we have Columbus weekend, which is the budget.
Right,
So we would have appointments set up at least by Thursday or Friday. So
but
you could,
when's the deadline for receiving, application?
I would make it at least by the 14th. If I could get the ad in tomorrow, that gives us 7 days.
Okay,
It's not an ideal way to do it. But
Anybody
you're covering your
that's-
bases.
Anybody that's looking is going to see the ad, they're gonna see the television programming, and we're following the steps. Those that are interested are going to see it and apply.
You gotta put a figure, you gotta put a number on this?
No, I don't think we should.
You may not get anybody to apply if they don't know what they're gonna get paid.
Is this a part-time,
One of
15
jobs
to
are
20?
like job to be 16 to 20 plus hours per week, Monday through Thursday.
Is that correct?
Hourly rate to be
Right.
determined by the select board. It's on
I
Doris.
think,
Yeah.
I think it should be based on their knowledge and experience.
Yes.
How much training are they gonna have? You can't necessarily
Yeah,
offer
budget.
somebody $18 an hour if they don't know how to turn the computer on.
Especially if we don't make $18.
Exactly,
It's not a good reason, but
yeah.
16 to 55, we just got a raise, you know?
It's gotta be based on their level of experience and their willingness.
Yes.
Where are you going to place the ad?
Brattleboro Reformer, and I'll place an ad on the town website.
Okay.
And
The
also you should
Reformer does not come out on Mondays anymore.
I
Right.
know.
And what
Starting
about
today,
and
no
one
crossword
at
doesn't.
Front Porch Forum, please?
Okay.
And what about
Good idea.
VLTC?
VLCT, no,
Why?
why would you put it there? You're looking for somebody who's
Local.
VLCT, I don't know.
People look at it all the time from different, locales.
I've never done it through the
I-
VLCT
is there a
or
cost?
through the online thing, but I can definitely do the Reformer, the website, and Front Page Forum.
Okay, so this is going out tomorrow, October 6th.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to give a deadline of 7 days, so you want the October 14th or the 15th to be the last day. Which day?
End of the 14th by 5 o'clock,
Okay.
and then I can schedule appointments for 15th or 16th, and we can make a decision either early on the 19th before Selectmen's meeting.
Who's interviewing on the 15th and 16th?
No, I can make the appointments. Anybody that's
Oh,
applied.
to come here.
And then we can schedule it so there's either an earlier appointment time to interview anybody
Okay.
or something so that you can have an answer on the 19th.
So wait, so the select board will need to interview these people
With the listers.
and the listers. So that would mean we have to be ready to be available earlier than the October 19th,
How many people do you
probably.
think you're gonna get?
Earlier than 6 o'clock on the 19th. If
Yeah.
we can set up
It
appointments,
just seems like such a rush.
you might have to come in at
I don't
5:15.
think you have a big choice.
Excuse me?
You don't have a big choice here.
No,
A big
we
choice
should
here.
interview them, huh?
No, they're gonna, no.
It's gonna be collective.
Collaborative.
you're gonna be
Oh, all
here.
right, okay, we'll have to be here all
No, of course, you're the ones who really need to describe.
We don't know what you're doing.
Right.
Yeah, they don't know what we do.
Okay,
So
so
two people
did
in the town know.
we have a
Yes.
second? Now we have to vote on all of this.
Well, does Mike want to amend his motion to what Juanito said?
Sounds good.
Chris is re-seconding.
Yeah, very good.
Okay, and Chris second, so we're going to vote now. All those in favor of accepting the motion that Mike made about hiring,
No, advertising,
advertising for this position of part-time lister
data entry.
Yeah.
for data entry,
Thank you.
say aye.
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 Okay, great.
Thank you.
Thank you very much for coming again, and we are going to pray and hope and cross our fingers that we're going to get somebody pretty quickly for you to help you out and for you to help us out.
So can I just ask, Doris, you're leaving in
My
March?
term is up in March.
And then Frank, you've got 2 more years?
Yeah,
I took a 3-year term last March, so,
Okay.
whatever, so.
okay. Well, thank you for coming in. Drive safely, get home safely. Okay, we are up to unscheduled members and we don't have any. So we're up to old business then. We need to schedule the budget season. And because I think we said that we really need to start very soon. Next Monday is October 12th, Columbus Day, so we had discussed possibly coming in Tuesday, the 13th. Can we vote on that, please?
Yeah, I'll make a motion to do it, I guess.
Okay. And then
I'll
from
second.
then on, we do alternate Mondays at 6 p.m. Is that correct? Yes. Okay.
For no more than 2 hours at a time.
Alright,
Right, 6 to 8, every other Monday at 6 p.m., alternating with Selectboard.
mhm.
And the first meeting is October 13th at 6 p.m.
Yes.
And the public is invited.
Oh, of course, it's
Yeah.
always open,
Yeah.
sure. So, we have a motion, and we have a second.
Yes.
All those in favor, please say aye.
Alright,
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, the ayes have it, and that's the schedule. Thank you. Next is the draft response to Vermont State Trooper's letter.
Do you have
State
that?
Trooper French.
It's underneath,
Oh, here it is, yeah.
so what I'm looking for is just some bullets so that I can draft a letter to send to them on what Newfane is looking for recommendations and how we can approach the policing issues that Newfane is concerned with.
I have no concerns with the policing.
Which means that you think they're doing a good
doing
job.
alright,
Yep.
Okay,
I think they're doing a fantastic job.
yeah, me too.
Yeah,
yeah. So that sounds unanimous.
So there's no
That was
issues
easy.
or concerns that you want to
No,
recommend.
The only thing I'd ever do if I did gonna send them back a letter, I would recommend was what they did with when we got that thing on the, people had the concerns, wanted us to make that paragraph. And they'd already sent us a letter the week or so two before, saying how the state was gonna cope with a lot of these issues and they were gonna do things. If anything else, we could just send them back a letter telling them that I thought what he sent us was right on track. You know, I mean, I think they're already looking into it. I think they're doing a good job with it.
Okay.
Keep going the way they're going. But as far as our towns, I think they're doing a good job with it.
So Renetta, it's basically to say that
Job well
All-
done.
the select board as a whole is very pleased with their work. We thank them very much for what they're doing. And we're open for any conversation or suggestion or criticism, whatever, at any time, but we are extremely appreciative. I think that's it, right?
yes.
Okay, great, that was fast. And we are very lucky. They are doing a great job.
Okay.
Okay, the last thing is, what?
McCandless.
Correspondence.
No, wait.
correspondence.
Because you already opened.
Oh,
the
we
letter.
did the bids, okay, correspondence, and, okay, so the first letter that we have is from Bob McCandless. And the letter is dated September 29th, 2020, to the town of Newfane Select Board. And the letter states, due to the loss of my partner of 40 years, and because I will be handing off ownership of my property in the village of Newfane, I seek to resign my position as secretary on the Planning Commission immediately. It has been such an education and joy to work with the fine people on the Planning Commission. We accomplished a lot of wonderful things for the town and its town folk over the last few years. I will miss working with all of those who interacted with the commission, including those who serve on the Selectboard and the DRB, who were wonderfully supportive. Newfane may be a small town with 4 villages, but it has a big heart, and when people step up to the plate to serve, it is a wonderfully rewarding experience. It has certainly been that and more for me. Hard work never hurt a soul, and when there is great interest, wide shoulders to lean on, and a respect for volunteerism, this town is the place to be and experience all of that and more. Thank you for listening. Thank you for sharing. Thank you for inviting my partner Gary Delius and me to be part of this amazing community. I will misquote the center of America here, where people can be themselves, neighbors will help and care for one another, and the soul of our country is played out over and over again in the kindest, best possible way. Be well. Respectfully, Bob McCandless.
Excellent.
That's a beautiful letter.
Yeah.
And
We'll miss Bob terribly. As we miss Gary terribly.
With regret,
So I guess he'll be leaving.
you're accepting it with regret.
Yes.
Bob is moving very soon. He was able to sell his property, and actually he's moving this week.
Oh.
And Bob, whatever you said about the people, that includes you. You're the most amazing person. And we were very blessed to have Gary work with Selectboard and then DRB for many years. And we wish you all the best. And I do know that Bob is, what his hopes and plans are right now is that he comes back in the spring and he wants to find a small piece of land and to build a small house or 2 on it, like tiny houses, so he can be here because he really loves Newfane and he loves the people.
Yeah.
And he is very well loved by
Absolutely.
us.
Well, I think his letter is like awesome. It just really, I mean, for him and Gary, who have been here for a long time, is an epitome of who we are.
Absolutely.
You know, that we have no, we all get along, and you know, a little hard work doesn't hurt a soul.
Right.
And I'm just appreciative of their efforts here.
Yeah, they're both an asset for the town.
Absolutely.
Yes, definitely.
Absolutely.
It's a real shock with Gary.
Yeah.
But I can see why Bob's doing it too, you know.
Right. I know that when they moved here, and they've told the story, so I'm allowed to say it, and I'm sure you've heard it yourself from Gary and Bob, but they were concerned about moving here. They didn't know what they were walking into.
Mm-hmm.
And they were so pleasantly surprised over and over again at how the people were so accepting of them, how the people here are accepting of each other, and they both threw themselves into community and felt very fortunate and lucky to be able to work with all of us. And it went 2 ways. We were very lucky to have them here.
Yeah.
They were wonderful gentlemen. And that's it. Thank you, Bob, for your letter. Do we have any other correspondence?
And we have the letter from Thom from the Rock River Preservation.
Yeah. Why don't you read that?
Sure. It's from Thom to the Newfane Select Board from the Rock River Preservation wishes to be a good neighbor. Newfane Select Board, Thom Chiofalo, I believe. Sorry if I mispronounced it. Rock River Preservation Community Outreach Coordinator here. I remember now to inform your board of what I wish to have said during my talk with you in the September 21st meeting around issues brought up originally at the late July Select Board meeting on parking and users. At the time, I was addressing concerns about the larger number of users parking along the Route 30 recreational area. I had mentioned RRP does not wish to increase user numbers, but to steward the land while working with the Vermont Land Trust and to work for the open and free access and safety for river users by informing all with written and personal outreach. It was mentioned RRP acquired land with access to Grimes Hill Road, but we have no intention to allow access from that area. At the time, I explained our board wishes to be good neighbors and a resource to your board. While I did point out that RRP annually gives $300 to the SEBWA to test the river for E. coli safety, I did not explain we give thank you gifts to 3 rescue groups that comes to the aid of injured river users. RRP understands the problems, injuries, causes to these services, as well as to broader community, and knowing many of the individuals are volunteers who need to give up their time to help. Not remembering the exact amounts, I did not want to mention this that evening, but now I have those figures. So I believe it helpful to inform the select board that RRP yearly contributes to the following 3 services: Newbrook Fire and Rescue, $300, Rescue Inc., $200, West Dummerston Fire Department, $200. Tom.
Nice.
Well, thank you very much.
That is
That's
great
a
to know.
great
That's
letter.
wonderful.
Yeah,
It was so nice to have him talk about what they do.
yes. I learned a lot that
Yeah.
evening, and they were such nice gentlemen, very cordial.
Yeah,
very-
Tom and Troy were very informative and wonderful.
I still
Yes.
don't know how to even get down in there. Where do you go?
Yeah,
I don't know. Well, I think that's awesome that he remembered to send that to us so that we know what they're doing.
exactly. Thank you very much for contributing that amount of funds to the 3 groups, the Newfane Fire Rescue, Rescue Incorporated, West Dummerston Fire Department. And I'm sure those organizations are very appreciative to the Rock River Preservation Group. Okay, are we finished with correspondence?
There was one other one that was a late entry from Nolan Edgar. It might be in the green correspondence folder.
Underneath payroll.
Oh, Shelley, would you like to read? Oh, this one down here?
Yeah.
Yeah, would you like to read
Oh,
this?
it's a card.
I know, isn't that the cutest one?
Let's see.
That's for
Dear
next week.
Select Board members, I'm writing because I'm concerned by your decision to hold an in-person meeting this evening, especially given how well attended your last meeting was over Zoom. We are still in a pandemic, and there are those in our town who are not comfortable attending meetings in person. I know you're not in violation of open meeting law because technically people can still attend if they want. However, I do think this is an irresponsible decision on the part of the Select Board. For the benefit of the people of Newfane, I ask that you either go back to meet on Zoom or do a hybrid meeting where you have both options, in-person and Zoom attendees. I would be happy to talk with you about how a hybrid meeting works. The Vernon Select Board currently operates in this way. Sincerely, Nolan Edgar, Newfane resident. I think we're gonna resolve that.
I think that's in the works with the purchase of the television/camera.
Right.
That's perfect.
Yes.
Thank you for your concern, Nolan. And I think that's it. So we are ending the evening now. We wish everybody health and safety in the town of Newfane and beyond. Be good, drive carefully, take good care of each other, and good night.